Hello everybody and welcome back to Odin's Movie Blog. I am the critic who's a cynic, and today I wanted to talk about our friend, our dear friend Rian Johnson, who single-handedly, well, with the help of Kathleen Kennedy, destroyed the Star Wars fandom with his movie The Last Jedi. And this guy right here, just like Chuck Wendig, just like all the other people who are in the creative position in Star Wars, who have just contributed to the decline of Star Wars, who attack and attack and attack the fans on a seemingly daily basis, instead of just admitting the facts, instead of just admitting, hey, we made a mistake, or hey, I could have done better. Instead of just leaving it there, they instead to double down on everything they've been doing and say, no, you know what? No. We are better, and we're going to tell you that. So let's go ahead and go to this tweet. I know that this tweet has been mentioned a few times by a bunch of other people, but I still think it's worth talking about nonetheless. So here Rian Johnson is responding to someone who has since deleted their tweet, so we can't even really see what it is. I'm sure there's pictures of it online somewhere, because as we all know, once you post something online, it pretty much stays there forever, even if you tried to delete it, because someone at some point probably would have saved it or taken a picture of it or any of those other things, especially when you have someone like Rian Johnson here, who has people, 27,000 people. 27,000 people liked this tweet, and 4,000 retweeted it. That's absolutely insane. That's absolutely insane. It's so disheartening that there are those many people out there who share this view, who share this opinion of Rian Johnson. And again, I am someone who actually like Rian Johnson's work. I thought Looper was fine. I thought it was a fun sci-fi film. I thought that Brick was excellent. I love Brick. Brick is one of my all-time favorite films. And yet, I can still admit that The Last Jedi was not a very good film. Again, I've said this before. The first time I saw it, there was just so much that happened. I couldn't process it. I said, I have to see this movie again because I just don't know how to feel. And then I saw it a second time, and I knew almost immediately, no, this film has so many flaws. Basically, he tore down everything that had been built up beforehand, and he tried to say, oh yeah, I did that because, you know, I wanted to subvert expectations. I wanted to make you, okay, you can't tear down an entire universe and then expect most people to be happy about it. You cannot tear down a whole universe and leave almost nothing left and expect people to say, yeah, I want to see more of that, or yeah, I want to see where it goes from here. When you get rid of almost everything that's been built up over 30, 40 years, you cannot expect people to actually come back for more. Because that, I mean, anyway, let's get to his tweet. He says, on social media, a few unhealthy people can cast a big shadow on the wall. But over the past 4 years, I've met lots of real fellow Star Wars fans. We like and dislike stuff, but we do it with humor, love, and respect. We're the vast majority. We're having fun and doing just fine. Really? Okay, so this is, again, the guy who literally only a few seconds later said, what we talk about when we talk about man-babies. Really? Man-babies. Really? Oh, so you're talking about unhealthy people. You're talking about people who dislike and like stuff without humor, without love, without respect, and yet you're the one calling people man-babies. And oh yeah, 8.2 thousand people liked it and 1.2 thousand retweeted that. Oh, yes. Oh, please, keep on preaching. Rian, please keep on preaching to us. Please keep on preaching to us. Again, I'm one of those guys who, I'm not going to go after you personally. I am not going to go after you and make fun of your appearance. You know, there's a lot of people who might point out that you have a very cylindrical head, but I'm not one of those persons. I don't care about that stuff. You know, I know a lot of people have fun with that, and you know what? Do whatever makes you happy, but I would rather just go after you for the basic fact that you call out people. You say there are a few unhealthy people, and I agree with you there. There are a few unhealthy people out there. There are a few every single group of people out there. There is a small minority of hateful people who are sick, who are unhealthy. You are right about that. But don't try to paint yourself as being a part of this so-called majority of people who is on the high ground. Please don't stand on your high horse and then say, oh, but I'm talking about a bunch of man-babies. Okay, so you're saying that the people who are critical of your film, the people who are critical of your characters, the people who are critical of everything that you've done are a bunch of man-babies who are part of this this group of unhealthy people, and yet you're the one who's calling people man-babies. Dude, grow up. How old are you? Grow up, man. There are so many better arguments that you could possibly make, and you decide to go on the low ground. You decide to take the low road. I mean, dear Lord, man, come on. You are. I know that you can do better work than this. Again, there's probably a ton of other people who would say, "Oh, you're wrong on this. We don't agree with you on his previous films." And you know what? I respect him for that. I respect them for having that opinion. But don't you go around calling people man-babies who just have a different opinion than you, man. Don't do that. And then what's even worse is that you want to say, I've met lots of real Star Wars fans. What is a real Star Wars fan? In your mind, is a real Star Wars fan only somebody who liked your movie? Because if that's the case, look at the numbers on Rotten Tomatoes. Look at the number of people who stopped watching your film, and look at what you've done to Solo. Because I guarantee you, you're not going to be able to say that the majority of Star Wars fans are real fans in your opinion. Because a lot of people, a huge amount of people, don't like your movie. and think that your movie has essentially led to the destruction of the Star Wars universe. If you don't believe me, I mean, you can easily just look at numbers. I mean, look at these. This is the previous Star Wars films. These are all the domestic grosses. So Force Awakens did great. Almost made $1 billion here domestically. That is very rare. It's very rare that a movie will make $1 billion in the United States alone. Most of the time, most of the money is made overseas, and yet this made almost $1 billion. But then, let's see what happened after that. Rogue One, we knew that would make less, and yet $532 million is still very good domestically. But what happened to your movie? Last Jedi. Oh, look, wait a minute. $620 million. Now people would say, "Oh, that's really good," and it made $1.3 billion total. Oh, you're right. But wait a minute. That's over $300 million less. And when you add the worldwide totals, it's $700 million less than the $2 billion that The Force Awakens made. So yeah. Oh yeah, you did great. And also you opened in more screens too. And so how do you explain that? How do you explain that? Could it possibly be that your movie wasn't that great? Could it possibly be that your movie had tremendous flaws in it, Rian Johnson? Could that be it? And then we look at the film that came out 6 months after, and wait a minute, oh my goodness, this is the worst of the Star Wars films. This is only $151 million domestically, and it probably won't even break $200 million domestically. This is a film that probably at this point might not even get much over $400 million when everything's said and done. Some people would say that's being generous. And yet you've made less money domestically than Empire Strikes, and all these are before you adjust money for inflation. This is before inflation. So you're already behind Empire Strikes Back. You're behind all the prequels, which is insane. And yeah, so Rian Johnson, thank you. Yes, real Star Wars fans are the ones that liked your movie, even though, as we can see, your movie is what essentially has put Star Wars at risk. It's not us. We're merely responding. We're merely putting our opinions out there. Again, that's what discussion is. We have an opinion, we share it, and we have discussions. And I'm fine with anyone that disagrees with me who wants to have a discussion. I love having discussions. I love talking about movies. But if you're just going to be that guy who says, real Star Wars fans, oh, but we're talking about man-babies here. Anyone that disagrees with me, anyone that didn't like my film, they're just a man-baby. They're just an overweight white male sitting in their mom's basement who's trolling me on the internet. No, that's not the case. Again, I pointed out previously that there is such a huge, diverse group of people that did not like your film. Men, women of all races and ethnic backgrounds hated your film because of just the amount of crap in it. And so for you to say that, it's just ridiculous. Again, look at what you've done. Again, yes, you can blame so many things for this number for Solo, but I'm sorry, at the end of the day, the $267 million that this movie has made, which is going to result in at least $180 million loss, a lot of that started with you, bud. A lot of that started right here. And again, that's not me making fun of your appearance. That's not me making fun of you as a person. This is me talking about pure hard numbers here. So again, that is how I will choose to go after you here. Because if you're going to be calling people who disagree with you, you're going to be calling me or anyone else a man baby, dude, grow up. Look at the numbers, admit that you made a mistake, admit that you did something wrong, and just move on. Don't try and troll people. Don't try and go after people, because if you think that you're going to be able to go out and do these things without having some kind of reaction, good luck with that. Good luck with that. And, oh yeah, we're the vast majority, the people who are the real Star Wars fans. Yeah, sure. When your movie, when your trilogy doesn't happen because of everything that happened with the Star Wars franchise, because of Solo, and because of what you did with The Last Jedi, yeah, then talk about real Star Wars fans then, man. All right? All right, everybody. So, have you seen these tweets? What are your thoughts on these tweets? Do you think that Rian Johnson needs to actually watch what he says? Do you think that Rian Johnson needs to actually look in a mirror? Do you think that Rian Johnson actually needs to look at the box office numbers and see, wait a minute, I obviously made a mistake and I should admit that? And do you think that he will? I doubt it. And I think most people will probably agree with me that he will not do this. But you know what? We can hope. You know, we can hope that a man who calls people man babies and the over 8,000 people that like that and shared it with other people, that they'll grow up, right? We can only hope. All right, guys, have a great day, and as always, God bless.